Well, I hope you're all having a good time on Helldivers. I'm not, because I'm playing Gears of War and having the time of my life over there, but I'm excited to see how well Helldivers is doing. I think this is the kind of message the AAA industry needs to be receiving, that letting everyone play games regardless of platform is a really awesome thing, and it makes for a much better community than you would have otherwise. But over the last couple days, I've witnessed quite the hypocrisy from a certain segment of the Helldivers base. It's really not even the Helldivers base, it's the PlayStation base pretending to enjoy video games, and they're just using the Helldivers base as a cover for that. But let me ask you something. Put yourself in the shoes of a PlayStation fanboy for a second. You have a list of games that your favorite company holds hostage, and you boast about how great those games are and how everyone should buy a PlayStation to play those games. You think the games are good enough to justify the purchase of a console, despite how anti-consumer that is. You really think people should buy a whole new platform just to play these games. That's how good they are. And then the publisher announces that one of those games is going to Xbox. Maybe not the news you wanted to hear because you're a PlayStation fanboy, but hey, at least some people get to play this great game, right? I mean, you held the game in such high esteem, at least more people now have access to it. And then the game comes out on Xbox, Xbox players buy the shit out of it, and you're mad about that. You wanted people to play the game, and you thought the game was good enough to justify hundreds of dollars of hardware purchases because it was just that flippin' great, but then you get mad when people buy the game that you think is great because they didn't also buy hundreds of dollars of Sony branded hardware before they bought the game. The game is great, you love the game, but you're mad when people buy the game. That's basically where we're at now. So the other day, Helldivers 2 drops on Xbox alongside a big Halo crossover event for all the versions of the game. Naturally, Helldivers 2 player counts absolutely skyrocket, partially because a lot of people are coming back for the crossover, also partially because a bunch of entirely new players have access to the game. According to this post from Hezadur Gaiman, Helldivers 2 player count spikes, reaching over 300,000 people following Xbox Series XS release in its first 24 hours on the platform. Quote, previous post-launch high was around 200k, the Halo Warbond and Xbox release doubled that record. And we're just gonna read through some of the replies to this post because, like I said, we're now at the point where people who juiced up this game and said that if you wanted to play this game, you should buy a PlayStation. The games on PlayStation are so good that it justifies buying a whole new platform, but now that people are buying the game on a different platform, suddenly that's a bad thing. You were using Helldivers 2 in the console war and berating people for not buying the game, but now that people are buying the game, you're still mad about it. This one's really stupid. Malcolm HMD says, couldn't even match Steam's peak at launch. Xbox really don't buy games. Then a screenshot of Steam charts for Helldivers 2 with a all-time peak from a year and a half ago of 458,000 people. Yes, fun fact, the hype for a game is usually at its highest when the marketing is at its highest, which is the launch of the game. Thanks for pointing that out. But also, classic example here, you see this all the fucking time from PlayStation fanboys, that these numbers aren't literally the highest they've ever been, therefore they're bad. Helldivers 2 is not currently at the numbers that it had at launch, therefore Xbox players didn't buy it. Which is funny because you're not willing to use this logic on yourself. I mean, Helldivers 2 sold most of its copies on the PC, and Steam peaked at 458,000 players, which is, I would imagine, higher than the PlayStation concurrent player count peak, because Helldivers sold more copies on PC. And I think it's safe to say that the PlayStation Helldivers community is not beating that 458,000 concurrent player count record. Are you prepared to say that PlayStation fanboys don't buy games because they didn't hit the Steam concurrent player count record? No, of course you're not prepared to say that. But you are prepared to say Xbox players don't buy games for the exact same reasons. But I mean, these goalposts aren't consistent. They never will be. What would happen if Xbox did pass that concurrent player count? Then what would you say? You wouldn't say anything. You would just shit your pants and cry and move the goalpost again. Al says, oh, if only the Xbox gamers showed this type of support for an actual Halo game, they are capping through their teeth buying that Halo Warbond because if they cared for Halo, it wouldn't be dying. I do love this logic. Like, oh, Xbox players don't support their own games, even though they're supporting a Halo crossover. It's like, oh, well, they didn't support the recent Halo games. It's like, yeah, maybe the recent Halo games weren't worth supporting. It's just a weird thing to use in the console war, because basically what you're saying is that it's a bad thing that Xbox players vote with their wallets and don't spend money on things they don't want to support. Xbox players do support the shit out of Halo. Master Chief Collection has been a top seller for like a decade now, and has a huge community. The more recent Halo games like 4 and 5 did not get great support because they weren't great games. And now here comes a Helldivers crossover that is good and pays homage to the games that the Halo community really likes, and it's being supported. What you're saying here is that it's somehow a bad thing that the Halo community, or I guess in your words, the Xbox community, doesn't spend money on things they don't want, which is a very strange thing to use as an insult. Al was having a bit of a day too. He came into the replies of one of my posts and just started like sounding off about the dumbest things. Cause Sony Prophet tried to talk shit about Gears of War's Steam chart numbers not being great, which like of course the Steam chart numbers for Gears weren't great. Basically everyone got the game for free through the Xbox app. Like of course the Steam charts weren't high for that game. And I quote tweeted and just said Microsoft gave the game away for free via the Xbox app to basically any PC player with a pulse. Of course the Steam count is low. Also Helldivers too, because this game came out the same day as the Halo Warbound. Now I'm doing it. But then Al comes into my responses and says, you mean Xbox players just like Helldiver 2 over Gears? It just shows Xbox players always cared about PlayStation games than their actual own holy shit PlayStation carrying Xbox.
I like it, and it feels like a real show, and I love all the letters flying around on the screen. Those are interesting.
Those are names, because it's a credit sequence.
Okay.
I responded, what? And then he says, PlayStation is carrying Xbox. Xbox gamers don't play their own exclusive, instead go out their way to buy a PlayStation game that dropped on their console. And which is just amazing logic here. I remember like 2 weeks ago, everyone was shitting their pants over the fact that like a majority of the top selling games on PlayStation were published by Xbox Game Studios. And all the PlayStation guys were trying to be like, no, it doesn't count. That doesn't mean Xbox is doing well. We're buying the shit out of all these Xbox Game Studios games, but it doesn't mean that we're giving money to Xbox somehow. It doesn't mean Xbox is doing well somehow. Xbox is providing us with all of our most popular games, but that doesn't mean it's actually popular. But now that Helldivers, one PlayStation game, is doing well on Xbox, now PlayStation is carrying Xbox. So Xbox wasn't carrying PlayStation when they were filling up the top sellers charts, but PlayStation is carrying Xbox after one game comes out. Al, you weren't supposed to take the helmet off. Smegoff says, but none of this shows what they're playing on. For all you know, this is an event and PlayStation and PC have come to play. And Gandalf Grey also says, I'm pretty sure that number includes players from other platforms too. I think you should understand when posting things like this. Little reminder of what they're responding to here. Where exactly did they say anything about specific platforms here? They said the player count spiked after the Xbox release, which is true. And then they quoted saying that the Halo Warbond and Xbox release, that big update, doubled the record, which is not a platform-specific thing to say. Why are we being so defensive right now? It's like, hey, the big update came out and the Xbox port came out, then there was a big player spike. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean Xbox is playing it. It's like, I mean, we can presume some Xbox people are playing it, though, right? No one was claiming specific numbers of Xbox players or percentages of Xbox players. No one was doing that. Why are you so scared of someone potentially doing that, maybe? Dave Rui says, Xbox released double that record. Lamau, you're pathetic Xbox shill. You're an Xbox shill because you acknowledged the fact that a bunch of people bought and started playing the game after the game was made available to them. It makes you a shill to acknowledge that. Why are you people like this? Why do you care so much? It's bizarre. And also, just so we're clear, the person he's quoting is someone on the Xbox subreddit. He's pointing out that the previous record was around 200K, and the current record at the time that the screenshot was taken was 389K, so almost 400K. So we went from around 200K to around 400K, which is doubled the players. And also, in between then and now, that number's gone up to 500K. 500,000 concurrent players. And that's the Arrowhead CEO in this screenshot, by the way. The Arrowhead CEO was asking you guys to stop shitting your pants. I fucking love this guy. Like, guys, just like, why does it upset you guys so much? Why does it upset you guys so much? Here's another one. Unofficial astronaut. Double 200K to get 300K? Xbox math. My boy, did you read the thing you responded to? It went from 200K to 389, which is just rounding up to 400, because of course you would round up to 400. 200 to 400. Yes, that is double. You goofball. And I'll close with one random screenshot here. I forget what this is from. I just saw it and I screenshotted it a few days ago. I think it was from the Xbox launch trailer. Maybe. I don't know. But Damien responds and says, I just started playing on Xbox. I'm really loving the game. It's really fun. But then Austinius Humulus says, not sure why we even allowed it, considering I will never forget the fucking loser gatekeeping behavior you guys had when Halo was at its peak. Which I love this comment for a few reasons. First of all, I'm not sure why we allowed it. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You had no power here. The fact that you think you did have power here is just kind of pathetic. Second of all, I'll never forget the loser gatekeeping behavior you guys had. And you're doing what exactly? It's when other people gatekeep, it's loser behavior. But you somehow think you had control over whether or not a game got ported? What? No. Then the last bit here, the behavior you guys had when Halo was at its peak, which was what, 2008, 2009, so like 16 years ago-ish. People were mean to you on the internet 16 years ago, and you're still holding on to that, and you somehow don't see yourself as the comedy here. Look, Helldivers is doing very well on Xbox, it seems. It's topping the sales charts, player counts are cranking, and I love to see it, you know? I really do love to see it. I love that this is the message being sent to the AAA industry. But I can't really think of a good way to end this, because it's just so tiresome at this point, and it's just so pathetic. Like, really, what have you been expecting to happen? What did you expect to be different? They've told you that this was going to happen, you knew this was going to happen, and then it happened, and you're still mad about it. Even though you benefit from it if you're a Helldivers player, you benefit from it if you're a PlayStation player, the only people who don't benefit from this is no one. Nobody doesn't benefit from this. But you're mad about it anyways, because someone didn't buy the right plastic box. And that's really the only reason. So anyways, I'm going to eat some waffles after I do this Doofus Club reading, and I'm going to make this video. We're going to watch it. It's going to be funny. It'll be fun. Okay, let's go. Celerot, Bear Brain, Max Killer, V2 Gaming, Stick Rider, Broken Crayon, Purple Rock of the Red King, Freshly Milked Man, Nut in Your Butt, No Motorcycle Yet, Got My First Car, Devastator 2000, Stephen Christensen, Jake Spider Monkey 1994, hashtag BanJTech TV, Gara Secret Horse Son, Colonel Doofus, Schmo from Schmeaddles, The Schmitz, Show from Showbiz NCNA, Chris Void Vast, Dennis, Joe Found There's a Second Moke. Come join me, hashtag BanJTech TV. Gaming with Dead People, Muskie, Kyle Ward 789, Big Fudge, Stump Chunkman, Big GT, RJ, Bushmeat, Barrister, are all ass kissing tethers. Klepto Penguin to Jojo 6, Molting, The Beastums, Emiko, Really Zerd, Oracle, Return the King, but is upside down, Pedro Pascal's left hand, Nate, Blast 1314, Jimmy Chops, Amanda PC Gamer, Joe, apologize to your wife, Master Killer, Firestorm 2056, Demetrius Papagiorno, Tom Snorlax, and Dan Porter Bridges, Unknown 186718, Kev Dog 1992, Zombie Killer 5072, Official Dregs, Ayo Captain Jack, Bring Me Back to the Railroad Track, Evion 504, Grimsy, Ed Shadow Bear 1789, Kirschkir, Unicorn Rocker, Benefon I live in DSP's walls, I'm stealing his forks, I just can't do it, this no more, man, shit, fuck, shit, man, Wings, T-Train, Reisinger, Sense Nakage, and Vola, I lied, I didn't forget to change my name, Partial Main 8, Volks Auto, Codman 4372, WX, The Gamer 127YT, Alderatha 1, Doug Niggsy Smile, Snake Eyes 227, I changed my name back to Gamer Word 72, MK2396E, Hentai X Machina Gamma, Elite Fire Hazard 105, Harass the Wolf, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim Collective, Stick Up Bum, Joe Trap Me in the Moat, hashtag Banjay Tech TV, Gay Local Adult with Autism, BC Gamer, Jessica Shepard, Ricky Spow, Ricky Tabby, don't know about Gar's Horse, but I'll be the Godfather, Crew with the Steel Angel. My profile picture has Clippy in it, big fuck, big corpos in their slot, Sergeant Jason Baum, Baron Von Voder, Homsec 771, Cyrus, I did those backwards, 2Dex and 940, I snuck onto your PC and pre-ordered BO7 on your PC with your money. No! Creed Warrior 23, Max the Chev, Simply the Chap, Totally Insane, Garo King of Horse Girls, Lover of Horse Girls, Food Night of Cypher. I still don't know what the fuck is going on with that. ML04, I own 6 copies of Click 2006 on Blu-ray. Wolf of Midnight, Big Radar, Pig Venus, Steve One Studios, Film McCracken, OM Grameen. OM Gaming, Tariq Brown, Thorin Skade, Maggot Next, Severin Evans, Spino 3, Catalina Figure Wine Mix of Pow Pow, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Dars Mex on Twitch, Come Hang Y'all, Gob Gonson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Kenny Getting Fanny, Hangman for Hire, Ellen Noble, Frost Crystal, Biogenesis, Ian in Action, Floppy Fingers 97, Mega Key, Scruffy's Go, Ghost Ho, Ryusagi, Vasco, Raptor Tim, Amistaf 94, Blue Hook, Film a Tip, Mr. Techno Squeak, Oh No, It's Only Live Service Game, Smitty, Worker, Man, Smitty, Nick Advertisement, Diego Garcia, McKibbikins, I American Idiot, Harmon Smith, Other Chin, Oh No, It's Justin, Red Rui, Toonie Wayne, Extreme the World 7, Joey Scoops, Smelly, Wrestling Geek, Joe Taku, Retro, Wannabe Hobo, Jidge, Westa, Billet, 310 Char, Rob C, Veg, Groovin, and a Curtain Ounce Pack, Sal Haddon, Eldo Ring is the Baldo's Gate of Dark Souls. Aww, it's so cute how he thinks he's Harmon Smith. Man, okay, toodles.